Welcome to Windows Phone 7 Series in 7. My name is Bill Loden, and this is the first in a series of short videos about the next generation of Windows Phone. In the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to Windows Phone 7 Series. We'll take a look at the user experience, I'll talk a little bit about Microsoft's design philosophy, and you'll learn some fundamentals about the Windows Phone application platform. Oftentimes you hear the word revolutionary applied to new products. In the case of Windows Phone 7 series, the term is absolutely accurate. Microsoft has started from scratch, creating a wholly new mobile operating system with a fresh, unique user interface. Let's take a look at the experience itself. It starts with the Windows Phone Start Screen. The primary focus of the Start Screen is to provide immediate access to the information you care most about. The tiles in the Start Screen are designed to provide glanceable data, the current weather, today's appointments, how many new emails, text messages, or voice messages you've received, or even the latest status update from your best friend. You don't need to open up individual apps to get to this information. It's all right there. You can tap on any of the tiles to get more details or to launch an application. Here's the Music and Video Hub. Notice that the application's canvas is bigger than the display. You can pan left and right and view all the content, giving you an experience that is larger than the physical device. Hubs, such as the Music Video Hub or this People Hub, provide a way to view related content in a single context without having to switch between different applications. Notice that this list of What's New integrates status updates from both Facebook and Windows Live. At launch, you can expect Windows Phone to support the most popular social media platforms, and it's extensible, so it'll be able to support the next big thing, whatever that may be. On your Windows Phone, people are first-class objects. So, for instance, you can take a close friend and then move them to the Start Screen, where you'll be able to keep an eye on their status updates and have their contact information close at hand. Microsoft has focused a lot of energy towards making Windows Phone delightful to use. It begins with a whole new approach to the user interface. Microsoft refers to this new paradigm internally by the name Metro because the inspiration came from the signage you might find in subway stations, airports, or train depots. Information in these environments is designed to be intuitive and consumed quickly, at a glance, and that's exactly what you want from your phone. Metro is modern and clean. Microsoft thinks of it as a design language that is fast and in motion with an emphasis on less Chrome and more content. In the words of its designers, one of Metro's guiding principles is a fierce reduction of unnecessary elements. I mentioned earlier that the experience is larger than the physical device. This is a key part of the Metro philosophy. Applications don't have to be constrained within a window whose size is determined by your screen real estate. This is referred to as the panoramic experience, and it's another part of what makes Windows Phone 7 series so revolutionary. Now, if you're an application developer, how does Metro affect you? Well, certainly, Microsoft hopes that Metro inspires you, but that doesn't mean that all applications must look exactly the same. Here's a weather application that Microsoft might create based on Metro's design principles. It's clean and straightforward with sharp contrast and an obvious emphasis on simplicity. On the right, a weather application that might be built by a third party. It's also attractive and appealing, but it features softer graphics, rounded corners, and gradient fills. The point is, Metro provides principles and guidelines, but it doesn't force your hand. You still have the opportunity to be creative, and you can still showcase the branding that you're invested in. Now, so far we've talked about the design philosophy that went into Windows Phone 7 series, and you've seen how much effort Microsoft has put into creating a delightful experience for the end user. But what about the experience for application developers? Well, let's take a look at the Windows Phone application platform. It starts with consistent hardware. At launch, each Windows Phone 7 series phone will have WGA resolution of 800 by 480. Now, sometime after launch, phones will be available with HVGA 480 by 320 resolution, but these are the only two resolutions you'll need to accommodate. Every Windows Phone 7 series device will have a capacitive touchscreen with at least 4 contact points. Every Windows Phone must have a GPS and a compass, an accelerometer, plus light and proximity sensors. A camera with a flash is required, along with an external camera shutter button. Multimedia support is consistent as well. All Windows phones will adhere to common specs and support codec acceleration. All Windows Phone 7 series will meet baseline criteria when it comes to memory and processing power. and all Windows phones will expose the Start, Search, and Back hardware buttons. So even the most humble Windows phone will offer a stellar set of features and be able to provide a compelling user experience. As a developer, you can count on all these features to be present when you create your applications. Let's talk about the software architecture that powers Windows Phone 7 series. On top of the hardware itself, you have the kernel, a modern operating system that provides basic services like security, networking, and storage. And this is where the device drivers live. And unlike in previous mobile platforms, Microsoft is writing most of the device drivers themselves to ensure consistency across devices and to minimize the effort required by hardware vendors. The application model handles the management, licensing, and isolation of all installed applications, and it also handles software updates in a consistent way. The UI model is really the foundation of the Metro experience. It provides the shell, it manages sessions, and it defines the page-based navigation model unique to the phone. Next is the cloud integration component, which works with cloud-based services such as Xbox Live, Bing Search and Maps, and Windows Live ID. Microsoft has built its own location service and included a framework for push notifications, which rely on these cloud services. Finally, there's the application runtime. It's built on the .NET Common Language Runtime, or CLR, and this is where the application frameworks live, which will support the custom applications that you write. Now, when you create a custom application for Windows Phone, the first choice you have to make is which application framework you want to leverage. With Windows Phone 7 series, you can build apps using Microsoft Silverlight or Microsoft XNA. Both require managed code and both allow you to access core .NET functionality as well as a managed API for phone-specific features like the sensors, the camera, the phone dialer, etc. Now, generally speaking, you can expect that most games for Windows Phone will be built using XNA, and Silverlight will be used for other types of applications. Now, you can get started developing for Windows Phone today, and in the next 7 in 7 video, I'll show you how. Thanks for taking the time to get to know Windows Phone 7 series.